It was cold and rainy, and I was like, no one's coming out. This is ridiculous. They came out in droves and just were so excited to celebrate with us, and brings tears to my eyes even now to think like how much that community just like got behind and we're like, we're coming out in the cold. That won't stop us.
From northern Colorado, right there between the rolling plains and the Rocky Mountains, this is the Greeley Business Beat. Just your friendly, neighborly corner booth conversations with the incredible humans behind the businesses and local attractions that make Greeley, well, great. Join us as we dive into stories of the people and places that make up the very fabric of our community. Whether you're Greeley born and raised or just passing through, we promise to pull back the curtains on some of our favorite community gems and introduce you to the neighbors who make this place special.
Hi, I'm Amy Freeland, your host today for the Greeley Business Beat. Today, we're turning our attention to Mariposa Plants and Flowers, a beloved local gym here in Greeley. Known for their stunning floral arrangements and unique plant selections, Mariposa has been brightening up our community one bouquet at a time. Let's dive in and learn more with today's guest and owner of Mariposa Plants and Flowers, Danielle DeVore. Danielle, great to have you here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is exciting. We're both kind of newbies to the podcast world, so this will be fun, I promise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
So as long as I have lived here in the Greeley area, Mariposa has been kind of a staple of the community. So before we kind of delve into what Mariposa is and what it's all about as a business, let's learn a little bit more about you, Danielle, and what kind of led you to this career. I guess let's just start from the beginning. What led you to the plant world, if you may?
Well, I've always been a plant lover and flower lover. I did go to UNC and got a field biology degree, and so I got to be in a lot of botany classes. I got to also work in the greenhouses there and things, and that's where my love started. And then I worked for the Division of Wildlife for a little while, and my daughter, who's now 26, she was 10 months old when I started at Mariposa. So it's been a labor of love, like over 20 years of enjoying all of it, learning it,
Nature.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong with plants.
Yeah.
So my mom has always told me, it's like, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you can't go wrong with plants. And so you mentioned UNC. So getting your education right here in Greeley and coming out of that education and putting it to work right away.
Yep. I'm born and raised. I love this community, so I'm in a good spot.
Yeah. Do you remember back those first few days? It may not have been total shock of learning a new skill, but it is a little bit different than the greenhouse world.
It is different. I started as a plant maintenance technician, so that's where I went around to different businesses and homes and watered plants and took care of the plants. Indoor plants are different than outdoor plants, I learned.
Go figure.
And also dealing with people, which I had to do right away, also different than just being in a greenhouse with plants that don't talk back or ask questions.
Right, exactly. I brought with me, for those who are listening in, cannot see it, so I will just mention on the table, I brought with me today one of our plants that we have in the office. We call it the hospital, or I do, affectionately call it the hospital. Folks like to bring in their plants, and I like to see if I can bring them back to life. And this is one of them. He's done pretty well. So at Mariposa, once folks hear this podcast and they head on downtown and they walk in your doors, give us an idea what their experience, because it's not necessarily just plants, and there's lots of opportunities there also to learn more about plants and to do things. So tell us more about what that experience looks like when you walk in the door.
Yeah, so usually people experience kind of this sense of calm when they walk in the door. It's just green from floor to ceiling. And we've got fountains, we've got soft music. My favorite thing is walking in, you smell like all of the green and the soil and the flowers, and it's kind of this intoxicating mix of really amazing fragrance.
Yeah.
Also, people can walk right into my flower cooler, cool off during the summer, and get a lovely intake of all this fragrance too. It's amazing. We have local vendors that we love to have also. So we have so many great products in there that are just made by people who are literally right here. So we love to promote that. It's just really my favorite place in town. And I get to see it every day. So I really love it.
See it and experience it. I also noticed you all have classes. that are available as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. What kinds of things you offer? Because I know for at least me from the plant hospital, I'm always trying to do a little research and figure out, okay, how do I save this one? What do I do now? Okay, there's no saving that one. But I was curious to see that it looks like that you have some classes from time to time.
We do. It's pretty new. We started our workshops maybe about a year or so ago. We refurnished our back room where we used to have a lot of storage, but now it's got this beautiful mural. It's nicely lit, big work tables, just really a great environment. And we host things from floral design to terrarium making. We did some bonsai classes. We do different art classes where we host other artists who come in and teach how to make jewelry or whatever it is. It's all very botanically themed. That's when we give people tips and tricks too on plants. And if they have questions and things, we're always there to be helpful. But yeah, it's been a really fun new addition to Mariposa.
Yeah. Just kind of a chance for people to experience your store and downtown, I guess, really, because it brings them there, but just a different experience overall. So let's step back a little bit. You started with Mariposa, but if I heard right, you now own Mariposa. So tell us a little bit more about that. And I'm also curious to hear your decision, to say, I want to purchase this business.
Yeah, well, I had such a great mentor. Pam Bricker was the owner for all the years until I took it over about 3 years ago. And really, she gave me the confidence to be able to do that. She taught me from start to finish what I know, which is awesome because I know from the plants and taking out trash and whatever to all the bookwork and managing people and doing the whole entire business. So that is really awesome. But the thing that maybe made me most confident to do it is the staff at Mariposa, because they all just lined up behind me and they were like, we're in it. If you're going to do it, we're all staying. We're going to support you. And they all did. And they have been wonderful. So I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Yeah.
And speaking of good place to be, it's right here in Greeley. So we're excited about that. And so give me a little bit more on that, your feelings about having that business in Greeley as a whole.
It's wild.
Yes.
And it's fun. People are always happy to find us. And it does surprise me still that people still say, oh gosh, I didn't know you were here. It's just surprising because we've been around for 40 years. I couldn't do it without the community either. One great example, we did a ribbon cutting and so many business owners came and tons of different employees came that have been working at Mariposa forever. And then the next day was for our customers and it was a cold day. It was cold and rainy and I was like, no one's coming out. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We have cupcakes and drinks and cookies and all the things and no one's coming. They came out in droves and just were so excited to celebrate with us. And it was brings tears to my eyes even now to think how much that community just got behind and we're coming out in the cold. That won't stop us. And people have written me letters to welcome me to being a new business owner. They've stopped in, they've called. It's been kind of overwhelming and lovely. Really lovely.
You're still smiling, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Your circumstances are a tiny bit different than some of the other folks that we've been talking to on the Greeley Business Beat in that you, I guess, went from your infancy, if you will, of growing with the business and now an owner of that home, if you will, which is a little different than someone who, say, that starts a business and it's always been theirs and they just kind of go through that. As being kind of an in-between, if you will, of owning that business, any advice that you would give to someone else that maybe is in the same circumstances you were, where they come out of college and they go and they work at a place and the opportunity presents itself, what would you say to them?
I would say do it. I have never looked back and regretted my choice. I don't know. It wasn't that big of a leap for me, but it feels pretty great to just be able to make these choices and feel like it's mine. And like I said, to have that supportive staff, I couldn't be luckier, really.
You mentioned about your staff, and I can tell sitting here with you that they mean a lot. Tell us a little bit about them and their experiences. Are they coming in with a degree such as yourself, or are they just kind of learning as they grow with the business, or what does that look like?
We've got all sorts. One of the ladies who is my plant maintenance supervisor, Deb, she's been there longer than I have.
Yeah.
So there are some long-term ladies that work for me. I would say it's probably about half and half. We've got some that come in with like real big degrees, marketing, physics. Like one of my staff members speaks Japanese. I mean, they come from all over the place. And as far as where they are in their life, and some of them are retired school teachers, so I don't know that there's really any of them that have a degree like in floral design or plant, whatever, but they learn.
Does that exist?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I really don't know. I learned it all by just watching and doing.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure there's some accreditation somewhere.
One of the things that, again, as I was doing a little research that I noticed is that you guys try to give back and that there's some efforts there. And sometimes it's monetary that you're giving back to various charities and that. And can you tell us more about the work that you're doing or the efforts to try to support the community?
Yeah, well, we just started a new downtown sisterhood collective, and it's going to be, it's going to be
sounds great.
We're going to have our first market coming up in October, and it's to benefit all of the women business owners and operators downtown, and also to benefit some women organizations. And then, it'll grow from there. I encourage my staff to get involved. I'm involved, and anything that's like really dear to their heart. We even started a bouquet where if someone buys it, then a portion of that goes to whichever organization. So people can feel really good about like buying this bouquet for someone and also donating at the same time. So we're just trying some different things like that so we can really make sure that everybody's supported. Everybody needs a little love.
Yeah. So if I just on a whim, I have like my plant here today, it needs help. Is it okay for folks to just kind of bring their plants in and have them checked out?
Yes. Absolutely.
Do some troubleshooting?
Yeah. People do that all the time.
We
always tell people if it's wintertime, make sure that it's over 40 degrees before you take your plant out, because you'll bring it to us and it'll look beautiful. And then by the time you get it home, it'll be black and frozen.
Oh.
And so that's no good. So, protect your plants. So it's more in the summertime they bring it in. We can give them advice on repotting. We have a repotting station right there.
Oh.
People can we can look at the roots, determine what's going on, give it our best shot as far as, how to help. So we're happy to do that.
Now, do you all have supplies as well?
We do. We have all sorts of different fertilizers specifically. We've got specific soil. We've got different like pest removal techniques that we can talk you through and all sorts of things.
Okay, so you're pretty handy.
Yeah.
Pretty handy. Okay. Well, is there anything else that you want to make sure that we touch on today, Danielle, about, Mariposa or having a business in Greeley?
The only last thing I want to say about Mariposa, I like to make sure that everyone is aware, and maybe not everyone is aware, that we're like really committed also to decreasing our carbon footprint. So we recently just got an all-electric delivery van, and we order directly from suppliers. So we cut out middlemen so our flowers are fresher and have to go through less processing. Also with local vendors, we appreciate that they can come in instead of having things shipped. We also have a vase recycling program. People can bring us their old vases. So we really just, every chance we can, we try to cut down on our waste and our carbon footprint, because I know that the floral industry is one of those that is kind of high.
It can be. It can be. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, because I know for some folks, that's really important to them, right? So you mentioned this at the very, very beginning when I asked you a very difficult question, but hopefully this will be a little easier. Favorite type of plant? There's so many to choose from.
There are a lot. I can tell you my favorite plant, hands down. I took cuttings when I was in college from the greenhouse, and I have it still today. And it's a Hoya. A lot of people don't know about Hoyas, but they bloom, and the blooms look plastic almost. They're so beautiful, and they have this tiny little bit of sap that is very sweet, and you can eat it, whatever. So mine is huge and beautiful, and it blooms all the time, and that would be the only plant that if I killed it, I'd be really sad. The rest of the plants in my house I would take care of, but I wouldn't be devastated.
Okay, but Hoya,
that's the one.
Does she have a name?
I don't name my plants.
You don't
That's
name your
terrible.
plants? My plants all have a name.
I love
this
that.
one is not mine, so it does not have it. It's one of
You
my
can
coworkers, but
naming
all
it
my
now.
plants have names. You don't name your plants.
I don't name my plants.
Wow.
But everyone who comes to me does have a name for their plants. So I think I'm in the minority. People really love to name their plants. So maybe it's because I have too many and I wouldn't remember.
Well, that may be the case too. Is there a plant that's maybe the most unusual that you've had at Mariposa before?
We just got in this really cool plant called a butterfly plant, and it really does look, the leaves really look like little butterflies, and it's really delicate. And I had never had one before, so I ordered 2 in so I could have one in the shop and one in my house. And it's really beautiful. It's got all these thin little stripes on it. So I really love that one right now. We have a bunch of collector plants in the shop too, and we can always get unique things in for people if they have a need or a want. So
yeah. So we're going to do a little bit more rapid fire.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
It may not have to do with plants.
Okay.
It might though.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Fall or spring? There's no wrong answer.
I know. Well,
You can do it. You can do it, Danielle.
Yeah. I love spring, even though it's unpredictable weather-wise. Just seeing those new bright shoots. That's
Right.
what I need.
Okay. All right. So spring.
Yeah,
we ended up with
spring.
spring.
I'm
All
going
right.
spring.
Well, I'll forgive you. Okay. So next one. Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee, hands down.
Hands
Yeah.
down. All right. Plain? What are
Plain.
you at? Plain.
Nothing. Just black coffee.
Wow.
That's my jam.
That's
One
amazing.
pot a day. I got to cut down.
Oh. Well, it depends on the size of the pot. All right. I think I know the answer to this. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm going to be morning for sure.
Yeah. That's what you have to do, especially with plants. I think they drive you that direction.
Yeah.
You got to get up early,
I like
you know,
morning.
before it gets hot and they get all wilty.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, did I kill him? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Danielle, thank you so much for being here today and giving us a little bit more insight into your business and the great things that you're doing in the community and for sharing the beauty.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Like what you're hearing on the Greeley Business Beat? Do us a favor and share this episode. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and be sure to leave a review. We'll be rounding up businesses and attractions each month, so sit back, tune in, and we'll be dishing up the stories that make Greeley great. The Greeley Business Beat is a production of the City of Greeley in collaboration with 1K Creative. Greeley is one of the few spots in Colorado that combines the best of everything the state has to offer. Beautiful vistas, deep agricultural roots, easy access to the outdoors, and a vibrant and friendly community. Learn more at visitgreeley.com. And until next time, stay connected to the heart of Greeley.